Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Trade Ideas Market Recap for Tuesday, February the 25th. My name is Barry Anderson, and I'm the moderator of the trading room. This is the trading room address. You can log in as a guest or use your Facebook or your Twitter account to log in. Now, most of us are in the room from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday to Friday, but I'm usually in the room maybe at 8:30, sometimes at 8 o'clock. The room is open 24/7, so if you have any questions about the program itself or something you read in the room, feel free to post and I will attempt to answer as quickly as I can. So I'm going to go over three trades that I actually took today in the room. And these are ones that I actually posted in the room. And I'm also going to go over a kind of a new strategy that I'm testing right now. I did talk briefly about it in the room, but I didn't actually post the trade I took. But I'd like to talk to you about it a little bit later. So let's take a look at the trades that I actually did take. Well, the first trade was Bloomin' Brands, BLMN. Now, originally, this came from my alert, my custom alert that I really like, and it came at 10:21, and you can see it was right around here, and the price was 25.44. Now, unfortunately, you see this is a 2-minute chart, and this expanded so quickly that I basically missed my entry on it, and I just didn't feel like chasing it. In fact, somebody in the room asked me if I was in it, and I said no, I missed my entry, and I wasn't going to chase it. And so, but what happened is, as it really came back down quite severely. Again, these are the 2-minute charts, so it didn't take very long. I decided I would keep watching it, and a number of us were watching it, and at 20, because we're watching it bounce off 25, and this is 25 right here, and so you can see that it really held 25. And I mentioned in the room that for me, if it got over 25.20, that I would probably be a buyer, and that's exactly what I did. I got in at 25.22 and rode it up to this level right here at 25.83. Again, I'm always one that worries about a stock going through its whole number. And so at this point, I just thought, that perhaps this was going to be, this level up here was going to be a stumbling block. So I decided to take half up here. And as it was coming down on this level here, I took out the other half at 25.62, and when this happened, I was obviously fairly happy to get out when I did. And yes, it did go back up, and it went back up to this level later on in the day, but again, you just never know. I mean, this was high flying for the day, and I was when I see something like this, I'm always worried that the same thing is going to happen a little bit later. So anyway, happy enough to take the profit that I did on the two halves of that trade. The second trade that I did was DO, Diamond Offshore, and this hurts a little bit. Now this was from my bounce play, and you can see that what I was looking at is this the stock was going down fairly significantly, fairly quickly over a 2-minute period, and it was bouncing into one of my favorite bounce areas, the whole number. And you can see that the low was at 47.05, and it was holding this low very well. And I think I mentioned in the room that if it got over this level right here, that I would take the trade. But I also mentioned that this for me was more of a scalp trade. That I actually thought it might have a tough time getting through here, this level at 47.40. So what I did was I took half of it off at 47.28 and the other half at 47.31. I think actually the first half was at 47. Sorry, the first half was at 47.28, and then the second was at 47.31. Watch it come down. Was sort of proud of myself, thinking, okay, now it's going to drift back down again. But as you can see, it just really popped from this area and continued all for the rest of the day. So I kind of outsmarted myself, I guess, thinking that certainly this area would be a stumbling block, and I thought for sure this would be. But anyway, again, it was a fairly quick trade, and wasn't unhappy with the result, just was unhappy with what happened for the rest of the day. And the last trade I did was really quite disappointing. This was another one of the bounce plays. You can see that this had come down quite a lot, and I thought, okay, this one at least was going to give me at least, again, it was coming off the whole number too. So again, my favorite bounce off the whole number, and it had maybe 50 cents before resistance. So thought, okay, I decided to get into the trade right at this level at 662.10. And you can see it went up and then it just held this area for what seemed to be forever, for me anyway. I'm kind of a short-term trader. One of the things that I have found is that if I get into a trade and it doesn't react almost immediately, I mean, within maybe 3 or 4 candles of the time frame that I'm in, then I probably should be getting out. Because what I'm seeing, nobody else seems to be seeing. So I almost got out here through boredom, but I didn't, and I exited here at 62.06, actually, right at this level here. So I actually lost 4 cents on that on the first part of that trade. But I decided I was going to watch it because I had said in the room that I thought if it could ever get above 62.20, then or this level right here, 62.19, 62.20, then it might have a shot. And so when it came up back up into this area, I decided to take the trade again. And you can see what happened immediately. It dropped, but I this time I decided to hold on. And as it was moving back up, I thought, okay, well maybe this is it. But let me just bring up the SPY here, and you can see this is the SPY right here, and the SPY was okay. I mean, it was just sort of meandering around, dropping a little bit. But when it hit this level right here, when it dropped here, you can see exactly the same thing happen with Akamai. And so this was too tied to the SPY, and so I exited that at 62.08. So another loss on this particular one from 62.20 down to 62.08 to 62.08, and disappointing, of course. But at least I paid my stop. I did not decide to be a hero and hang on and think that it would rebound again because it would have been a lot worse of a loss. Now, the last one I want to take a look at, this is Ray. Let me just bring this up. Ray Reynolds American. Now, this is a new strategy that I'm trying to develop right now, and it's off the top list, so it's not being triggered the same way. Though I want to explain just a little bit about this, but it does involve custom formulas. And this, I'm not going to go into the custom formulas or how to create them right now. Maybe if this strategy starts to work, I certainly will. And in a later blog, I'll take a look at custom formulas. But in essence, what I'm looking for is a break of the 20-day high. And this was the 20-day high, 49.49. And once it broke that, and by the way, when it broke, this ray was white until it broke, and when it broke, it turned blue. So a nice indicator for me. I don't have to constantly watch to see whether or not the stock has broken that particular level that I'm looking for. And so when it did, you can see what happened. It made a nice steady move up, and I got up to. Let me just get rid of the SPY here, or this. And when it got up to this level, I was looking to sell, but I held on because again I was just testing this strategy, and I wanted, as long as it didn't break below. This is the area that I bought in, and then when it came back up here, when I took a look at the daily chart, you can see this is where it hit. This was the high for today, and you can see where it just spiked and hit that high way back here. So when it hit there and it didn't go through, I decided to sell just before it broke down over 50, before it went back down through 50. It's amazing how that can work. A little spike like several days ago can just prove to be a good impedance for the stock to go up. So this is a strategy, though, that I'm definitely going to start testing over the next little while. It involves more than just the stock breaking over the 20-day high, obviously, but it's something that I definitely am going to take a look at. These were the two others that did it. I didn't take these trades, but I will now have to do an evening scan to find stocks that meet the filter requirements, and then I put them into a symbol list, and then I monitor them the next day, and then I just wait for the trigger. And hopefully it's going to be that easy. So that was it for today in terms of the trades. Let me just bring up this page again and show you again the web address in order to get into the trading room. I hope that you will come into the room. We've got, again, I keep saying it every day, but we do have a great group of traders in there, a lot of eyes looking at different things, all helping each other. So come on into the room and good trading tomorrow.